live. Cuzzo, hit him with that intro.
Welcome back to the Electives Podcast. This is episode 3 of the new year, 2024. And let's get right into it. This was a busy weekend for the both of us, man. We went out Friday night, right?
Yeah,
Friday. To go and show some love and support to the homie Ruben Ramirez at the Red Comedy Club.
Shout out Ruben.
Shout out Ruben.
Yeah.
What'd you think, man? Was that your first time? I'm sure that wasn't your first time going to a comedy show, but
actually it was.
Really?
Besides Kevin Hart, but that don't count. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But that was actually my first one.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a cool vibe. The atmosphere was cool. The comedians were cool too. So shout out to those openers. The second one was a little slow for me.
Yeah.
So I told Ruben he's a little slow, but
yeah.
he was fun. He did have some good jokes though.
Right.
So
right.
So yeah, he was cool. Ruben was good, man. He was he actually went longer than I thought because it was only supposed to go to 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
And went past 9:30, so that was kind of cool.
For sure.
Yeah, the spot was in Rogers Park. The drink was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't bad. That drink was pretty good. So yeah, man. Overall, the experience was good, and I mean, he did sell out. I mean, there was no seats in there.
Right. Yeah, it was packed. It was crammed in there. Yeah,
it was packed.
If you're tall, I'm just letting you know now. Be careful if you go to the red room.
Yeah,
you need a little extra leg room.
Yeah, I had to move my seat over. I was like, let me move over for you, cuz so that way, we can make some space. But yeah, it was good to go out and support, man. And then I know you went to the barber convention, right?
Yes, I went to the Midwest trade show yesterday, Sunday, January 21st, man, and I was just blown away by the amount of young barbers, young talent that's out there. I was really impressed with the way that, some of these, because you see some people on social media, and they have these big followings, but a lot of them, man, were very humble. They were very personable. They weren't afraid to say hello. They weren't afraid to shake your hand, and conversate with you for a little bit.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool, man, and just supporting the industry as a whole. It's been a while since I've been to a show like that. Yeah. So, and I believe for the young barbers and stylists that are out there that are listening, continue to go to shows and to get more education because it keeps the fire going. Yeah. It's throwing wood on the fire.
Yeah.
When you're around like-minded individuals, man, you just get inspired and motivated.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Then you learn something new.
Yeah. For sure.
And then you get to apply it. That's how, I feel when I go, to California in August.
Yep.
You get there and it might be some things that you've already heard, but it's like kind of like the way it's presented to you. Then you're like, damn.
Right.
I can use that, or I could take that home, and then like you said, it sparks a fire for you.
For sure. And, I think just overall, man. I mean, like, the support that we showed Ruben, the support that I went and showed these other barbers, and the support that everybody was showing each other, is something that I want our viewers and our listeners to take away from this particular episode. Is show support to the people that are around you.
Right.
As best you can. I know you can't support everybody. Right. Every time, you're going to miss here and there. But if you can, get out there and support those around you. Yeah. It doesn't hurt to share a post. It doesn't hurt to share a story. Yeah. It doesn't hurt to tag somebody. So,
right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what I've learned a lot since we started this podcast is, we started our own, merch, right?
Right.
And the way I see it is like, if Nike was my friend, then obviously, I would be supporting Nike like we do now. I got Nike fucking shoes on and Nike sweats on.
Right.
But like for Ruben, if I've already went to go see Kevin Hart.
Right.
But, Ruben showed his support to us.
Yep.
I showed support to him.
Yep.
And then you're going out to the barber stuff to show support out there.
Yep.
And then while you were out there, like you were telling me off the camera, that somebody came in, 2 people approached you about the podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's crazy how, the circle just if you start, pouring that out, that support, it's going to come back unknown when, like we always talk about, we don't know when.
Yeah.
But it does come back.
It does.
And people are watching, and then if they start seeing that you're okay, hey, he's out here or they're out there, and hey, let's go check them out, or maybe let's buy a hoodie, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very important to start supporting your friends, even though the strangers or other people will be like, man, why you
Right.
Why you share that?
Right.
You know?
No, that's true. And there was one barber in particular. He's a wall barber educator. I can't think of the brother's name right now, so forgive me because I just met him yesterday.
Yeah.
And I can't think of his handle, but I pulled him to the side for a quick second, and I just said, "Hey, man, like, how do you get into this space of being an educator, an instructor, so on and so forth?"
Right.
And he gave me a quick rundown of how to do that. And he told me, honestly, he was at that convention for free. He was at the trade show for free. He wasn't getting paid to be there. And he said, a lot of this industry is just going out of your way.
Right.
You know, if you put yourself in the right spaces, you don't know who you're going to meet. He's like, some of these brand deals and partnerships that I've gotten and products that I use is because I was in the right place at the right time and I wasn't getting anything for it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that, you know, if somebody's, you know, watching or listening, to take that away too. Sometimes you're not gonna get paid to do something, but in the long run, you know, it'll come back. It'll come back.
Oh yeah, man. I think that's huge. You know, that's huge to go out and show that you're willing to learn for free.
Yep.
You know, like nobody's got to pay you to go there, no matter how skilled you are.
Right.
You know, I think that's very important because, like, you know, the harder you work, like what does a Pitbull say? The harder you work, the luckier I get.
Yes, sir.
You know, so you know that proves that right there. Because if he's there for free, he's probably just like, man, I wonder who I'll meet today. Maybe I'll meet nobody.
Right. And that's okay.
Yeah, but he actually, you know, he met you. Mm-hmm. He put you on game that he probably could have charged you. Probably he could do a class on that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
you know, but now like you'll probably go try to find him, follow him, make contact. Now he's got, you know, another connection. For sure.
And I think that when you can, you know, we talk about building your tribe and connecting with the right people, right, that are trying to move in the same space that you're trying to move into. When you notice that people are doing things for free or out of the kindness of their heart, and they're not trying to get anything out of it, for the most part, those are usually genuine people.
Right.
You know, and when you do need help, or if you do ask for help, those people are always willing to extend a helping hand. You want to surround yourself with people like that. You know, not really selfish individuals that, you know, are only asking, well, what's in it for me?
Yeah.
You know, because we talk about it all the time. I mean, this podcast couldn't have been built with just me and you. It took the help of the guests taking time out of their day to come on here, you know, and share their experiences and share their knowledge. So without them, we couldn't have what we have right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why like it's very important, man. Mm-hmm. Definitely very important. Mm-hmm. And what else did you take away from the barbershop convention? Was there anything else that you learned out there, or that you saw, or even maybe somebody else you met there?
I know there was a lot of barbers doing. There's a lot going on at those barber shows and stylist shows, because you got music playing. Yeah. You got people having all these conversations. You got, you know, like I did the 3-point contest. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot going on.
I should have went just for that.
I'll be honest with you, man. My boy, shout out to Slim the barber. He was the one catching all the rebounds out there for everybody that was shooting. He's an amazing barber, a good person as well. But I told him too. I said, "Hey, man, these rims are off. It wasn't 10 feet.
Yeah,
you know,
I saw that.
I know you can't, you know, expect it. It's not supposed to be, you know, NBA regulation or anything like that. But you know, the ground was a little uneven. The 3-point line looked like they made it with just some black tape. You know, 10 minutes before it started. But hey, at the end of the day, it was something positive. You know, to get anybody who wanted to participate. You know, that was there for them. But I said that because even though there was a lot going on. Yeah. And even though, you know, I noticed some of the barbers and stylists as they were doing their haircuts, that they were nervous, or that they were anxious, you know, and then maybe somebody would come and talk to them and say, "Hey, man, like, take your time, bro. Like, you got another 30, 45 minutes. There's no need to rush."
It's a time clock.
Yeah. But I noticed that a lot of the barbers and the stylists came there with their groups, with their shops. Yeah. Right. And there was just a lot of support. So even in those moments where they were nervous or anxious, the support was there. Yeah. Right. So yeah, man, that was my biggest takeaway. It was nice to see how many shops came out and supported one another. Yeah. How many stylists came out and supported one another. Yeah. It was just really dope to see.
Yeah, because that's that, like you said, it's pretty dope to see because in the field that you guys are in, you know, it's all competition based.
It is.
You know, it's 1v1.
Right.
You know, you even in the shop, you guys are a
Right.
team, but you know, at the same time, it's like, you know, you're trying to cut the most heads.
Right.
So
right,
the fact that people can get together and actually just go out there and support is huge. I mean, at least they put their competition or competitive nature aside for one day,
Right.
just to go see what other people
Right.
are doing.
And there was a segment where it was a competitive portion of it, and
Yeah.
you know, you get to see the barbers get that Mamba mentality, that look in their eye. But it's also something that we've brought up on the podcast before. Like, you know, you can be competitors without being enemies.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, man, you just want to. I personally just want to continue to see the industry grow.
Yeah.
And to see people continue to fan the flame. You know, because there's a lot of young talent out there.
So how long do you think the barbershop industry or the barber industry is going to last the way it is? Because it seems like it's at a high. I don't know if maybe it's going to keep going.
I think it'll continue to go and grow because I mean the tools are continue to keep getting better and better and better. You know, the education right now, education is really at an all-time high.
Yeah.
Sheer work, like there's this. If I'm being completely honest with you, in order to become a great barber and or stylist, you need to be able to do both. You need to be able to use clippers and you need to be able to use shears.
Right.
There's a lot of barbers that with clippers,
Right.
man, you can't touch them.
Yeah.
But you put a pair of shears in their hand, they're in trouble. They're in trouble, you know?
Yeah.
They're just not as comfortable and vice versa. You have plenty of female stylists that are amazing at cutting women's hair, cutting men's hair, long hairstyles. But you give them a short haircut, like something you have, you know, a fade or taper on the side, and they just can't do it. It's intimidating to them.
Yeah.
So right now there's this hybrid, this fusion going on where you have a lot of longer hairstyles that are being mixed with really nice tight tapers and really, really nice fades. So you need to be able to do both.
Right.
And that's where the education comes in, you know? Right. So I would like to see.
It's probably the beginning, maybe. It's probably, it almost seems like the NBA. You know, the NBA's been around for so long, but now we're in like a phase where the most skilled athletes are there.
For sure.
You know,
for sure.
Whereas before it was just kind of like, all right, you're big, you're small.
Exactly.
And you're a small forward.
For sure. Because I'll be honest too, there was a lot of women, female. I mean, I don't want to. There's this, you know, everybody's about being politically correct and whatnot, but they're barbers at the end of the day. They just happen to be women. So I don't want to say like just female barber, you know, and put her in that. That's not what I mean by that.
But we know what you're talking about.
Exactly. But there were a lot of female barbers.
Right.
And even on social media that are cold.
Oh,
I mean, are
they
cold,
probably cut,
man.
they cut better than men.
Yeah, some of them really, honestly, they do, and they're that skilled.
Yeah.
You know, and that's pretty cool to see.
It's just
you know?
attention to detail is what women have. That's kind of the thing.
That too, yeah, that too, for sure. But just seeing the way that the industry's grown, man, and seeing the way that it's evolving is just I appreciate it.
Yeah,
you know, being in it.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. Yeah, because when I woke up today, you know, it was we're discussing a topic, trying to, you know, think about topics all week. And when I woke up, it was, you know, my Bible verse kicked in.
Okay.
And it kind of ties into the weekend. So it was, you know, the Bible verse is Matthew 9:35-38.
Okay.
Could be 37-38, but
okay.
Don't quote me on that. But either way, the quote goes, "The harvest is great, but the workers are few." And when I looked over the weekend, I was like, all right, man, how does this tie in to what I recently did? And then when I thought about it, it was like, okay, Friday we went to Rubens. There's a bunch of comedians, right, everywhere, or maybe people trying to be comedians,
right.
And you look at that room. I mean, there's probably had to be like 40, 50 people in there,
right.
And if you're just starting out, whether you're a comedian or whatever, and you think about that quote, "The harvest is great, but the workers are few," it just goes to show, like, you can create your own harvest, like Ruben is doing, you know, 40, 50 people.
Right.
And you're going to reap those benefits, right? Or like in the barbershop community, you know, people think, well, there's too many barbers.
Right.
maybe that may be the case.
Right.
But the harvest is great
Right.
because there's not a lot of workers. There's
Right.
a lot of people who
Right.
do it.
Right.
Who I am a
Right.
barber.
Right.
But how many of
They're
them
not
are
putting
actually
the work.
right?
Yeah, the real work in.
The real work in.
Yeah. Like
So-
posting consistently.
Right.
You know, on social media. Because I think that now anything that you're in,
Yeah.
whether it's comedy, barbering, coaching even.
Coaching.
You have to use social media to put your work out there
Right.
so that you can separate yourself from the many,
yeah.
right? The few, that's how they separate themselves
Right.
from the many.
Right.
Is they do the things that everybody else doesn't want to do.
Right.
You know, posting every day is not easy. It doesn't matter what you're doing.
I mean, click and record is the hardest part.
Right. Right.
You know,
right.
yeah.
Right. But just staying
Yeah.
on top of it.
Yeah.
You know, posting on a post, posting on your story. You know, I
Right.
mean, how many Ruben's not able to sell out those shows without
Instagram or
continuously
whatever, yeah.
putting his work out there on
Right.
Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat,
Right.
whatever it is that he's using.
Right.
You know? A lot of the barbers, man, that are extremely successful, the Vic Blends, the Taylor Cuts one,
Right.
You know, there's a plethora of them.
Yep.
But the reason why they have millions of followers, man, you know how many videos some of those guys are posting a day? 3
Yeah.
videos a day?
Yeah.
I think Tanzi even mentioned that at one point. In order for him to build his following, he was posting 3 times a day.
Yeah. Sometimes even 7, I think
Sometimes
he said. Yeah.
it's a lot of content.
Yeah, it's a lot
You
of
know?
work, man. And I think, but yeah, that was my biggest takeaway. Then after I read that, and I was like, all right, man, what did I learn this weekend? And it was that. It was just like, whatever industry or like you said, whatever you're doing, if you just put in a little bit of work more than the next guy or girl,
You'll stand out.
you're gonna stand out. You're gonna have some success.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's even like YouTube or TikTok. Everybody's doing it, but not really when you really look at it. You know,
Right.
not everybody's putting in the work.
Right.
You know, people are taking weeks off.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. So that opens up the door for you.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So but yeah, that was that quote right there, man. I think it summed up the weekend, and you know, I hope like the listeners when you're thinking about it, or if you're going through like a tough time trying to figure out, well, where do I go from here?
Yeah.
You know, or how am I going to do this?
Mm-hmm.
It's really just stacking days, like we talk about.
Yeah.
You know, it's just one day do this, next day do that, and then eventually stack so many days. It's just
Get that snowball effect.
now you got the snowball, and now things are going to start rolling
Going down
for
the
you.
mountain. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, but what are your thoughts, man? What do you think about that quote? Did it tie in for your weekend? Did it make you think about other things, or?
For sure. I mean, it made me think. You know, this entire weekend in general just just continues to make me hungrier and hungrier to obtain the things that I want to obtain.
Right.
You know, I know it's going to require work, but I'm willing to do it.
Right.
You know, I was just inspired. Like I said, I was super inspired by all the young barbers and stylists that I saw that are out there just hungry.
Yeah.
Hungry, you know, and then meeting some of them and seeing how much energy they have and the enthusiasm that they have. It's like in life in general, right, you need a balance of the youthfulness, the energy of the youthful
Right.
with the wisdom of the elderly.
The old school,
You
yeah.
know, the old school.
Yeah.
To kind of create a better society and better business and overall.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that would be my takeaway is
Yeah.
that quote right there sums it all up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely, man. So if you're out there, you're trying to figure stuff out, just think of it that way. It'll probably make it a lot easier
For sure.
for you than you realize.
For sure.
You know, there's more to grab. There's more pieces of the pie. It's not very small. It's actually very big.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that, man, you got yeah. You know what? With that, what do you got? You got anything left for him, Cuzzo? You got any last piece?
No,
advice,
no.
man?
Just keep putting in the work. Stay
Yep.
consistent. You know, don't obviously don't overdo it. You know, don't
Right.
burn yourself into the ground.
Right.
But at the same time, keep putting the work in every day. You know, we're trying to do it as best as we can. We hope that
Yep.
you guys are doing the same. And let's keep building a community that's centered around that.
Yeah,
that's centered
definitely.
around continuing to get better. That's centered around just pushing every single day. All right.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
with that, we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Peace.
Peace.